The hardening of the arteries. Ben picked up a large blue chair with plastic cushions from the neighbor, carrying, then dragging it along the floor to the payphone receiver. Vitaly was on the line to the right. He put the phone to his neck and said, "Hey Ben, let me guess, calling that girl again?" He went on, "You got it bad for her. You sure that's not the reason you're in here?" Then he finished, "You'd be better off with the needle, kid." Ben looked at Vitaly. Vitaly was a 30-year-old Russian from Bright Beach, lived with his mother and was addicted to dope. Vitaly had been mandated to the ward. For what reason? No one could be sure. No one could ever be sure why anyone was in the ward. There were two things that everyone in the ward knew, no matter how they came to it. Number one, the white walls, carefully drafted vague tiles that looked no feelings in anyone. And number two, that no one could ever trust the reason anyone said they were in the madhouse. Ben looked at Vitaly. All he saw were fears. Fear of death, fear of life, fear of dope or no dope, love or no love hanging over Vitaly. Vitaly was sleeping with an obese 20-year-old hepatitic dope addict named Michelle. She had a hell of a voice and would talk about winning the latest American singing reality show. Vitaly would talk about what a fat, clingy piece of garbage Michelle was the minute she left the room. Even though Vitaly spent every minute with Michelle that she was out of her bedroom, the methadone hit Michelle harder than it hit Vitaly. And fortunately for Vitaly, Michelle spent a good amount of her time knocked out on a purple rubber mattress. "I love her. What are you going to do?" Ben said. Vitaly looked back at him, putting the receiver by his ear again. "What are you going to do?" "Boy, that's the true voice." Vitaly responded with an overstated shrug and an impressive brow. Ben picked up the receiver. He could see specks of dandruff or lice on the black plastic grill around the microphone and the mouthpiece. What a place this was, Ben thought. How did I end up in a place like this? But it was hard for Ben to believe he could be in this place and not be one of those kinds of people. The area with the phones smelled like wet paint and cleaning fluids. Schizophrenics walked by in a daze, their world evacuated by a Thorsey needle with an Ativan chaser. Ben didn't even notice Vitaly dialing the number. Ben put the receiver to his ear, forgetting about the insects or bits of dead human flesh on it. "Hello, said. Hello," she said. Ben felt stones in his pocket dragging him down. His stomach revolved twice. Adjusting to the weight and movement, Ben fixed his gravity. "Hey, sweetheart, you nervous for a pickup? Being in this place made him nervous." Vitaly smacked Ben on the back and gesticulated wildly, putting his hands in the air and then rubbing his forehead. He began mouthing the words to Ben in Russian to express his lack of approval for Ben. "How was your day, honey?" The sound of her voice silenced everything. "I've been here 3 days and no one has given me any idea how long I'll be here. I almost got into a fight with a transsexual that's taller than me because they tried to steal my position in the snack line. Plus, one of the orderlies keeps on talking to me about Jesus and the upcoming Armageddon." "Did you end up getting your snack?" Lucy asked. "Yeah, they backed down when I said I was willing to stay here for the rest of my life to get my goddamn snack before them. And that they were going to have to kill me if they wanted to keep my place." "What did they say?" "Nothing. They just moved out of the seat into the one next to it. Listen, I have to talk to you about something." Ben was listening to his teeth. Lucy had a drink in her hand Ben couldn't see. Ben took a pudding out of the pockets of his paper pants along with the plastic spoon, putting the receiver down on the top of the payphone that required no coins. Just a 9 to make a phone call and open the pudding. Scooping out the pudding as fast as he could. He ate and listened. I need you out of here, Ben. I need you back here. I can't be here in my mother's apartment anymore. It's too small for me and my kid. I need you out of there now. We gotta find a place big enough. I want to have another kid. I don't like mine. Let's have one. Ben finished the pudding, taking time to enjoy the taste and what must have seemed like a very dramatic pause. Sweetheart, I don't want you to worry. Everything will be fine. Look, I know exactly what to say to get out of here. These doctors aren't smarter than me. They may have medical degrees, but they don't know shit except what I tell them. Anyone who knows how to lie and has half a brain can get out of here in 5 days, a week tops. They got some loony fucking birds here that have been here for a month. Hell, they got one that's been here 6. That they said they're about to ship off to Creedmoor. Ben looked at Vitaly. He was distracted. Anyway, I don't want you to worry. I'll be out of here soon and we will find a place. Everything is going to be okay. I love you, Benny, Lucy said. I love you too, sweetheart. Hey, Ben said, you want to hear something funny? Sure, tell me, babe. At that moment, one of the kitchen staff was wheeling a silver food cart with dinner on it to the dining area next to the phones. Okay, so I was talking to one of the nurses, Dan, and Dan was telling me about when he worked at a state facility. He said there was a process they all went through when he worked there called the hardening of the arteries. The hardening of the arteries was the term Dan and the nurses he worked with used to describe becoming accustomed to all the fucked up shit they saw. He told me that there was a patient there, a man with a sub-70 IQ. This man thought that he was a dog and he would get physically aggressive if he was treated like a man. He had a leash that he insisted be put around his neck before he would go for walks. He had a bowl he forced them to serve him out of or he wouldn't eat. So what happened? The fluorescent lights hung like swamp gas, swallowing Ben up. He realized that he was no longer speaking and that he was in the most secure and locked section of the psychiatric ward. Ben looked behind to the dining room. Past Vitaly, he could see the large barred and bolted windows of a red brick residential apartment complex. Occasionally, someone walked into view, fixing up the night table, through open blinds or rearranging magazines on a coffee table. So one day, Dan goes to his room to take him for a walk, puts his leash on the usual, but something's wrong. The kid is barking, screaming, jumping around on all fours. Dan's got no idea what's going on because he thought they had an understanding, but you know how it is between man and animal. Ben was rambling. What do you mean, Lucy said. It's a tenuous agreement at best. When man meets beast, usually one kneels. Anyway, so the kid is trying to show Dan who the real animal is. Hardened arteries or not, Dan is trying to treat this kid like a human being, Ben scratched his head. So Dan forces the leash down around the kid's neck, and the kid isn't having it. He doesn't want to go for a walk that day, but Dan is making a stand. This is about Dan's authority now. His arteries were in the process of solidifying, but the hardening hadn't occurred yet. Suddenly, in one moment, the process was complete. The kid reached out with all his teeth and clamped down on Dan's ankle, wriggling his mouth around like an epileptic. And that's how Dan's arteries were completely hardened, and how he got his first rabies shot. Vitaly was mouthing the words to Ben, I'm going to eat. Ben just nodded. Is that story true, Lucy asked. Of course it is. I wouldn't be telling it to you otherwise. Ben smiled as he said the words. Benny, I need you to get back here. You need to get your shit together and say whatever you need to say to get the hell out of there, okay? You need to harden your arteries. I'm sorry. I miss you. I can't do this with you not here. It's okay, my love. I'll be on the outside soon. After all, I'm a sane man. Ben held back his laughter. I'm serious. I need you. I don't know what it's like out. You don't know what it's like out here with you. Ben was starting to feel hungry. He was glad he had eaten the pudding. I know. It's all right, sweetheart. I'm going to be out sooner than a week. Guaranteed, 100%. The words came out of Ben's mouth before he could think or not whether or not they were accurate. And after they came out, he looked over at Vitaly and slapped him on the back. When Vitaly looked over, Ben made the internationally recognized sign of a penis being masturbated and ejaculating in order to indicate how seriously he took Jenny. I love you, Benny. It must be dinner time over there. Go and eat and call me back after dinner. I want to tell you another story. Ben leaned on the top of the payphone. I love you too, sweetheart. It's all going to work out. I wouldn't tell you it was if it wasn't. Ben hung up the phone. It was hard for him to be in there. Mandated to the psychiatric ward without Lucy, too. He was always there for her. Being there for her gave him a purpose. Being there for her gave him meaning. Ben had never loved anyone besides Lucy. He thought that he did, but he was just passing time. Lucy was different. Ben walked into the cafeteria. The attendant from the kitchen was standing behind the metal serving cabinet that kept all the plates for him. George, Ben said, he looked at him on his wrist there. Okay, she said with an accent and a smile. Ben took his food and went to sit down with Vitaly. Vitaly was eating with Andrew and Edward. Andrew was a 19-year-old schizophrenic Czechoslovak from Staten Island. Andrew had slashed his face with a razor blade because the voices in his head had demanded that he do so. Andrew said that Olympian and Haldo mostly killed the voices. Edward was an 18-year-old Jamaican from the Bronx. Edward's mother had been letting him live at her place in order to get extra money added to her check, and when her boyfriend told her to keep it out, she told Edward to leave. Whatever had happened after Edward had made it before. Then you son of a bitch, you told me that bitch Edward said, I got big stacks from selling wax stacks. I make wax stacks, flip wax, packs. My 44 go flat. Andrew was rapping. Shut the fuck up, Staten Island. You're making yourself look foolish, Vitaly said. Yeah, this asshole is still in love with the maniac, Vitaly continued. She's a maniac, Ben said insisted. All I need to know is that she's with you, maniac. You're insane. You're more insane than the voices laid up in Staten Island said. People walked behind Vitaly as he spoke to unload their trays. Ben, why are you acting like you don't know what kind of woman she is? She's a chick, son. Ain't no soul in there. Why are you trying to fool yourself? You ain't stupid. Why are you gonna let yourself get played, Edward said. Look, I know what kind of woman she is. I know her since I'm 17 years old. I want to believe she is someone she isn't because I love her. And I know she's not getting better over time. She's not a fine bottle of wine. She's a bottle of champagne, and I should have drank her before she went bad, Ben responded with a sour tone. He is right, doggy. You're gonna let some hoe run you down? You're being dumb. She-ho. Andrew said with enthusiasm. Shut the fuck up, Staten Island. Last time where you can go sit with the catatonics. Vitaly shouted. I'm not stupid. You're both right. Look, this is gonna end soon. We both need this right now. Bro, you don't know her like I know her. She's a whore and a bad person. What do you want from me? I still love her. Ben responded as the tray clamped down. The woman from the kitchen was waiting for them to finish their food so she could take their trays back to be cleaned. She was a semi-attractive female in a place where most of the female workers were Nurse Ratched types. As Ben Vitaly and Edward sat eating, they turned their heads completely without kind of subtlety to check her out. Ben's head was craning to check her out when Vitaly noticed. Trying to smash the cafeteria, Vitaly laughed. I can't make any promises, Ben laughed. If you're gonna shut anyone in here, go to my girl's room and shut her up. That way, I can have a pleasant night's sleep without any post-traumatic flashbacks. Don't drag me into your nightmare, brother. I'm just trying to get second. Ben and Vitaly laughed. It was about time for evening meds. Shadowlords Rejected! Shadowlords Rejected!
every age, mystics, seers, and rebels have whispered the same forbidden truth. The world we live in is not the ultimate reality.
The demiurge, the false god, a cosmic jailer posing as creator.
At the heart of this system lies the cube. Across religions and esoteric traditions, the cube...
The Earth Matrix is not stone and soil, but code and frequency. A simulation projected into our senses. But beyond the prison walls, beyond the demiurge, beyond the cube, there is only consciousness. Every sovereign soul who awakens becomes a crack in the cube.
When the illusion falls, when the matrix dissolves, only one reality.
The demiurge was never your master. The cube was never your cage. The archons were never your...